Hello there. It's good to see all of you. This is COVID-19 update by Heerak, and it's May 22nd, 2020. And as you know, I created this show to help you survive COVID-19. A lot of the beaches are open this weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend, so some of you may be heading out to the beach. So we're going to talk about California today a little bit, just to get into the groove. In the United States of America, the beach season generally starts on Memorial Day weekend. In the East Coast, obviously in Florida and California, it's beach season all year round. But generally, like New Jersey, Delaware, Virginia, Maryland, Connecticut, Massachusetts, these beaches open up in Memorial Day weekend, and then they close in Labor Day weekend, which is generally first week of September. For those of you who are watching from outside of the United States, you may not know this thing about United States. Yeah. Yeah, in California, they love to surf. I have a friend, Joe Hellerman, who was in the Ph.D. program in history with me at UCLA. And he used to surf. He still surfs. He's a surfer in Huntington Beach, and Hermosa Beach, near Los Angeles. And now he's a professor of New Testament at Talbot Seminary, which is a seminary located in Biola University campus in Orange County in California. So, hi, Joe. Joe Hellerman wrote a lot of good books, on Jewish studies, early Christianity. And so we spent a lot of enjoyable time discussing Jewish studies and early Christians at UCLA. And so we have a lot of good memories, don't we, Joe? Yeah, so Joe Hellerman is a good guy. He converted to Christianity, I think after college or during college. And so, he's a great servant of Jesus over there in California, teaching at Talbot Seminary and training a lot of, Baptist type evangelical ministers. So he teaches in the MDiv program, Master of Divinity program at Talbot Seminary. And Talbot Seminary is one of the evangelical seminaries in California that's kind of recognized throughout the country. Yeah, he loves to surf, Joe Hellerman. So I bet you may be surfing this weekend, right? Yeah, Joe Hellerman is the surfing theologian, surfing New Testament scholar, surfing Jewish studies scholar. Yeah, so hope you're enjoying your time out there in California. I guess COVID-19 has changed a lot. Although I guess some surfers still go surfing. I've never surfed, but I know in California that's a big thing. Today actually is International Day for Biological Diversity, and I guess I don't know. I guess we have to include COVID-19 in this, right? Because COVID-19 is a biological organism. So I know the picture over here, has trees and birds. But, COVID-19 is also a biologically diverse entity. So this holiday actually ironically celebrates COVID-19 as well. So let's go to the death figures. As we see, death figures are remaining similar. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Death is here to stay for United States of America. Unfortunately, watch yesterday's show for me talking about COVID-19 as a biological weapon. I think you will learn a lot. from that. We have daily over 1,000 deaths every day. So in 30 days, we have over 30,000 deaths. And it's a serious problem. Obviously, I'm predicting that uh, at least 1 million Americans will die by August um, 2020. So we're still a few days away from June, and we're basically going to hit 100,000 U.S. citizens dying from COVID before June. And so, in June, at this rate, we'll have at least 30 more thousand. I'm thinking more because many parts in the United States are beginning to open up, and this is a killer virus, so it will spread and kill. So I'm predicting like in the summer, we'll have like average of 10,000 dying, probably like maybe June or July. Um, Listen, as the country opens up, more and more people are going to be infected, and there's no indication that this is seasonal. Some people talk about flu as seasonal virus. COVID-19 doesn't seem to be a seasonal virus, so I'm predicting that it's not going to die down in the summer. It's just going to continue on. It's like a 365 days a year virus, kind of like HIV virus or hepatitis C virus. These are all 365 days a year virus. So I don't think COVID-19 is seasonal. And I've been saying that since the very beginning. I know Dr. Fauci was saying that it's a seasonal virus. I don't think so. And I think it's inaccurate to talk about a second wave in the fall. I think, when the influenza viruses, influenza A and influenza B viruses come and hit United States of America, we're going to have an exponential growth of death because people who are getting both COVID-19 and influenza. So right now, the death rate, is at 6%. You see, we have 95,972 people who've died total as of today. And that's 6% of all the cases that exist today on May 22nd, 2020, which is 1,600,782 cases. But in the wintertime, when COVID-19 will continue to grow and kill at 6%, so if you have 1 million, you will have 60,000 dead. If you have 2 million, you have 120,000 dead. So we'll continue to kill at that rate. But there are several things that's going to happen in the winter that's going to change that normal pattern. And that's influenza A and influenza B. They have two different strands of influenza. People will get it. And those who have influenza and COVID-19, they will die at a higher rate. So we may have 20% of the people dying during the flu season. That's not because COVID-19 has changed. It's just that we now have influenza A and influenza B starting the flu season in the fall. So it's hard to talk about a second wave because COVID-19 isn't changing. What is changing is influenza A and influenza B kind of striking us during the flu season that starts in the fall. And so at that time, we may have up to 20 or 30% of people who have COVID-19 die just because there's flu going around as well. And every year, flu itself kills, anywhere from 20 to 60,000 people. So you're going to have a double whammy that's going to come in the winter. So right now, we have 6% of the COVID-19 cases dying. But because of the flu that will start, and it will commingle with COVID-19, we may have 20% die. So if there are 1 million people who get COVID-19 during the fall, you will have 200,000 die because it's 20% dying. To complicate the matter worse, because they're going to have people who have COVID-19 and influenza, some of them will just have influenza, some of them will just have COVID-19. Some of them will have both. hospitals will be flooded. So we're going to run out of hospital beds. We're going to run out of ventilators. We're going to run out of nurses. And so in the winter, we may have actually more than 20% of COVID-19 cases dying, just because you're going to have nurses uh, who are going to be overstretched once the flu season starts in the winter. Um, and we're going to run out of PPEs far more seriously than we did in March and April. So we're going to have more nurses dying. And also, nurses are already tired after 2, 3 months. But COVID-19 isn't going away. As you see, we have 1,270 people who died in the last 24 hours, and that's like normal rate, that or higher. And so nurses who are just kind of scrambling to take care of COVID-19, they're already burned out. And it's only May. And this is going to continue to June, July, August, September, October, November, December. By the time the flu season comes around, all these expert, experienced nurses will be so tired, they'll be making mistakes right and left. They'll be getting COVID-19, they'll be dying. So I'm predicting that at least 10,000 nurses will die by December, by Christmas time, in the United States alone. And I'm predicting that every nursing school class of 2020 will have up to 20% of the class dead from COVID by Christmas time. And so, clinical nurse leader, we have about 25 students graduating in the clinical nurse leader program. And so you will have about 5 people dead minimum by Christmas time, I'm predicting. And there's a bachelor's of science in nursing cohort. That's 4 years bachelor's program in nursing at Georgetown. They have about 26 graduating. And I'm predicting that there will be about 5 or 6 dead in that cohort as well. First of all, we're not experienced nurses, so we'll be making more mistakes, class of 2020 nurses. So it'd be easier to get infected with COVID than experienced nurses who've been working as nurses for many years. And also, generally, I think rookies generally get the tougher assignments. So I'm thinking like in many hospital setting, rookies will be sent to a lot of menial jobs. It's just pecking order of any organization. Rookies get the toughest assignments. And rookies are most expandable because they're least experienced. So, they're probably going to be sent in the most dangerous areas. So and that's another reason why I think up to 25% or more of a class of 2020 nursing graduate classes will die by Christmas. So there are convergence of many factors that will come to fruition in the flu season, resulting in at least 10,000 nurses dying in America. And as I said, I'm expecting 1 million Americans to die by August. I'm hoping to be wrong, but I don't think I will be. And that number is going to grow in flu season. I'm predicting that we will have about 30 million or more Americans dead in the next 2 years as COVID rages. And I'm predicting that there will not be an effective vaccine in the next 2 years. Generally, it takes about 18 months to 2 years to create a vaccine anyway, with simple viruses. And COVID-19 is a very complex virus. You should definitely see my show from yesterday and the day before that to hear explanation. And so, because this is I'm arguing a genetically modified biological virus, it's not going to act in a normative pattern of viruses. And we see that in a lopsided death rate in America. A lot of people are dying in America, and not many people are dying in Asia. Hardly anybody's dying in China or Korea or Japan. Everybody's working in these countries. But in America, we have 1,270 people dying every day. And that's why I'm saying it's a genetically modified biological weapon that we have been targeted with and we've been hit with. And, you know, so watch yesterday's show and day before yesterday's show to see what I'm saying. Um, and so it's important for you to watch those shows to understand the reality. But we have 1,270 COVID deaths in the last 24-hour period. And this is increasing, you know. Um, and we're rising, our cases are rising constantly at around 20 to 30,000. So we have 1,577,140 cases yesterday. Today we have 1,600,782 cases. I'm going to look at California just because, as I said, beaches are opening up now in the East Coast. New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. So typically these beaches open up during Memorial Weekend, and they close on Labor Day weekend, which is in September. And so you see, like, everybody's going to be bright red and tan. So this is like the tanning time. And some of your friends may come back bright red and tan on Monday or Tuesday if you see them. Right now, everybody's basically social distancing, so you're not going to see too many people. Yeah, so you'll see a lot of people, tan, because a lot of people are heading to the beach. That's just an American tradition. On Memorial Day weekend, you just hit the shore, hit the beach. That's what Americans do. So I'm sure a lot of Americans will be doing that this weekend as well. Hopefully they'll be, social distancing, wearing their mask and being careful, but it's kind of hard to do that when beaches are crowded, and you should expect the beaches to be very crowded this weekend just because everybody's been kind of cooped up in their home and they're going to head onto the beach with their family, and so it's going to be very crowded. So I expect a lot of people to actually get COVID-19. Unfortunately, we'll probably see an exponential growth of COVID-19 cases after this weekend. Not everybody's going to get COVID, obviously. Some people will be very careful with the mask and social distancing. And so, but I think there will be a rise because, there'll be very attractive women and men being who they are. They're going to try to talk to them, and women being who they are. There's going to be a lot of people just kind of getting together, I mean, that's what happens in the beach, right? And so I think, people are going to get COVID. A lot of people are going to get COVID. Even people who are planning not to talk to, people, they're going to end up talking to people. So, you'll have a lot of people getting COVID. Right now, actually, it's only 6% of the people dying. So let's say 1 million people get COVID over the Memorial Day weekend. Maximum people who are going to die are 60,000 at this rate. The rate may increase, but right now, so even if you get COVID, there's a higher chance you're not going to die. So some of the guys will be like, I'll take the risk. Look how attractive the women are in the beach. Women may say the same. And still, it's killing mostly elderly population. So people in their 20s, they'd be like, I'll take the risk. And some of them, a lot of them will not die. Majority of them will not die. To be honest with you, people in 20s and 30s who are healthy, don't have comorbid conditions, don't have diabetes, they're not fat, they have like bikini body, so to speak. Chances are they're not going to die, even if they get COVID, right? Just because at the current rate, most people who are dying are the people with diabetes who are fat, people who don't have bikini bodies, and so people who have bikini bodies, who are kind of fit physically, they probably won't die even if they get COVID. And because out of the 100, only 6 are dying. So 94 don't die. So the probability is still pretty high that you won't die. That is not to say that there can be a different cases or mutations of COVID that may come to existence, or which may show up after Memorial Day weekend, that may actually target young people. We don't know. I'm just saying that's a theoretical possibility. But as you know, Heerak Christian Kim in his COVID-19 update by Heerak show will give you the truth. So I'm telling you, if you're in 20s and 30s with a bikini body, you're physically fit, most likely you're not going to die from COVID, even if you get COVID. That's just the reality. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say, you're going to get COVID and die for sure. But because especially if you're like in your 20s and 30s and physically fit, there is very low chance you're going to die from COVID, even if you get it. I mean, still, you should wear your mask. You still have to be careful. That's today. I'm not saying that that's not going to change, because virus is mutating. It is targeting kids. So if you are a child, then you could get this New York virus, which I've coined. New York virus is the virus that started in New York, like a strain of COVID-19 that targets children and kills children. So, you could get this in the beach. So children are not safe. It used to be just old people used to die. That's the predominant number. But now children can die as well, because you have this New York virus that targets children. So if you're a parent of children, I'll be very careful. But still, people in their 20s and 30s who are physically fit, you have very low chance of dying. If you don't have like diabetes, if you don't have asthma, if you don't have like, seasonal allergies, if you don't have like that, like if you're not fat, if you have conditions like you have breast cancer, or you are currently having breast cancer, then there's a chance you will die from COVID, So, I'll be very careful if you have any kind of condition of any kind. But if you don't have any conditions, you are physically fit, chances are you're not going to die, even if you get COVID. I mean, still you have a chance to die because you 6% are dying. But a lot of the 6% who are dying are kind of people with conditions, old people. So yeah, so I'm just going to be honest with you so that you know what your chances are for survival. Now, if you're like in the 40s and you have like, you're taking any medicine at all on a regular basis, I would probably not go to the beach, just because there's a chance that you will get COVID. There's a chance you could die. So yeah, if you're like above 40 and you're taking any medication of any kind on a regular basis, then you have a precondition that could kill you. So you could be in that 6%. So I would probably avoid the beach if I were you, if you fall into that category. But obviously, your life is your life. You could take the risk. You could take a risk, because you have the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And if you say like, hey, it makes me happy to go to the beach, even if I got COVID and die, I want this happiness, I'm not going to stop you. You have the right to happiness. It's not like you're committing suicide. I mean, I'm not going to be like those extremist liberal progressives who say, oh, you're committing a suicide if you go to the beach. No, you're not committing a suicide. Suicide is like you're killing yourself intentionally. No, going to the beach, you can die secondarily to going to the beach. But you're not going to the beach to die. You're going to the beach to have fun. So it's not suicide. I mean, if you get COVID, you may die, but you may not. I mean, so you can't say going to the beach is a suicide, because right now only 6 out of 100 who get COVID die. 6% is not that much. So if you're 20 or 30s, most likely you're not going to die, even if you get COVID, if you don't have any conditions. I mean, but you could. I mean, there's always a chance, but there's a very little chance you'll die if you're very healthy and fit, very athletic, because still we haven't heard of any athletes who got COVID who died, right? Have you heard of any athletes in their 20s and 30s who got COVID who died? A lot of them got it, but none of them died, right? So still, COVID-19 hasn't mutated to the extent that it's killing healthy people in their 20s and 30s, people who get COVID. So, for those of you who are in your 20s and 30s who have no comorbid condition, maybe you should go ahead and have fun at the beach, but just be careful. But you are taking a risk because COVID-19 can kill you theoretically, although it's very little likely to kill you in the current format. But it can mutate. I mean, it could mutate this weekend. We don't know. And if it mutates, it can kill young people. Maybe a strain of COVID-19 will develop that will target young people. Spanish flu actually targeted healthy young people in their 20s and 30s. So you're lucky COVID-19 isn't like Spanish flu. They said Spanish flu targeted 20s and 30s who are healthy with no comorbid conditions, but it didn't target elderly and the young people, like the children. So they kind of scratched their head at that during Spanish flu and 1918 pandemic. But I'm going to tell you the facts. That's why you should watch this show every day. I'm going to tell you the facts so you survive COVID-19. If there's a mutation in COVID-19, I'm going to tell you. If COVID-19 mutates and chances are that you in your 20 healthy are going to die, I will tell you. So you need to watch this show every day just to keep up. You need to watch this show to understand what's going on for your children, for your parents. You can understand the whole dynamics because you have parents, you may have children, right? You have friends who may have comorbid conditions. So watch this show every day, keep up with the show. And then I will give you the facts. That's why we're doing this show, COVID-19 Update by Heerak. And that's why this show is so precious, because you get information you need, right? Watch this show every day. You basically have all the information you need to survive COVID. Today we're going to talk about California. Los Angeles #1 for COVID-19 cases, and they have 2016 deaths. So California is very different from New Jersey. In California, still, it's like an epicenter. The epicenter is Los Angeles. That's where most of the deaths are occurring. And the California model is similar to New York model, right? In New York, most of the deaths were happening in the city of New York. And the death around outside or is much smaller. So it's still kind of like that in LA. And that's the model we have in Virginia. In Virginia, the epicenter is Fairfax County, Alexandria, and Arlington. So Virginia's 8th district. I'm running for US Congress in Virginia's 8th district as a independent. And so this area is the most dangerous. We're going to see most death in COVID in this area. Still, as I said, COVID-19 is targeting mostly elderly in terms of death. So younger people who are getting COVID are not really dying in large numbers here because the virus is still kind of targeting people who are fat, who have diabetes or asthma, seasonal allergies, pre-existing conditions. Those are the ones who are dying. But as I said, it could change. Now we have New York virus, so if you have children, they could die from this New York virus, so I would be careful with the children. But so Virginia is kind of following the model of New York and California. New Jersey is a freak model because several counties have similar death rates. So I feel bad for you in New Jersey because I think it's a bad place to be because it's just everywhere in New Jersey. And we'll see what happens after the weekend, but it's probably going to get much worse in New Jersey. New Jersey is second to New York in terms of COVID-19 death. And I feel sorry for Governor Phil Murphy. He has a son who's graduating the class of 2020. So I'd like to congratulate Governor Phil Murphy and his family. His son's graduating from high school. Congratulations to you, Governor Murphy. I want you to become pro-life, as I've said, right, and oppose gay marriage. I know you are, you are a good guy, but you need to take the stance that the Bible wants you to take. So I'm just gonna, say that again. for you, because I think you could be a good Christian leader for America, for New Jersey. For you to be a good Christian leader, you need to oppose gay marriage. You need to oppose abortion. It's just gotta follow the Bible morality. It's hard to say you're a good moral person if you don't follow the Bible, right? So I'm just gonna say that just because I want you to come over to the side of goodness, Governor Murphy. But yeah, we all have to be good. This COVID-19, it's killing a lot of people. God wants us to be good, and to be good, we have to follow Bible morality. We have to uphold the sacrament of holy matrimony, and that says marriage is between one man and one woman. It's a sacrament. It's sacred. Marriage between one man and one woman is sacred, so you have to believe in that. You have to protect it. So protecting the sacrament of holy matrimony means you have to oppose gay marriage. Because marriage between a man and a man or a woman and a woman goes against Romans chapter 1. So reread Romans chapter 1 even if you have read it, because it's important for you to be a good moral person. And you can't be a good moral person if you don't support the sacrament of holy matrimony, right? And the concept of marriage between man and a woman, it's sacred, in Hinduism, right? It's sacred in Buddhism, and it's sacred in Islam. Although Islam has, one man marrying several wives, the concept that they uphold is that man must marry a woman, and homosexuality is strictly forbidden in Islam. So even if one man has like 5 wives, they cannot engage in homosexual sex, lesbian sex. And, that's prohibited. And I think it's death penalty if that happens in Muslim countries. So, and obviously that's what they're just following the Bible. That's what Bible expects in law. And I guess the Muslims are kind of going that direction because they see Abraham having many wives, right? One man with many wives, Isaac, Jacob. So they're kind of modeling themselves after that. But the original creation principle is one man and one wife, right? God created Adam and Eve. And so that's the position that the Christian church has kind of adopted and support, Although there are examples in the patriarchs where one man has many wives. Yeah, but under no circumstances are women to engage in lesbianism, right? That's strictly forbidden. So none of the patriarchs' wives engaged in lesbianism. Solomon had, many, many wives. And it was strictly forbidden by Torah, Talmud. And so, yeah, that's something that you have to understand. Lesbianism is completely forbidden in the New Testament and the Old Testament. So you cannot engage in lesbianism at all. It's strictly forbidden in the Bible. Yeah, so and obviously Jesuit university need to uphold this principle and prevent Catholic women from becoming lesbians, right? That has to be one of the important missions of the Catholic Church and Catholic schools, whether they're Catholic high schools or whether they're Catholic universities. You have to strictly enforce this moral code, moral value system, because marriage is holy matrimony. It's a sacrament. This is not a secondary issue. It's a primary issue in the Christian church, marriage between man and a woman. And so you got to defend that. Every Catholic university, Georgetown University, Marymount University, Loyola University, LaSalle University, Vanderbilt University, St. Joseph's University, Gonzaga University, they all have to defend the Christian value of holy matrimony. Rank number 2 is Riverside. Look at the discrepancy in the cases and the death, right? 6,464 cases, 284 deaths, that's it, right? I mean, it's still a lot, but I mean, that's still kind of small compared to LA. San Diego, 230 deaths. Orange County, 112 deaths. San Bernardino County, they have smaller cases, but they have higher deaths, 164 deaths. But their percentages are all below the national average, which is 6%, or you have 5%, 4%, 4%, 2%, 4% of the cases dying. So California is doing pretty good as a state. Obviously, Los Angeles is in trouble. And California as a state is not out of trouble because the death rates are rising. I mean, at the same kind of ratio, but it's rising. Um, so that's a problem for California, because its death rate is continuing to rise. Yeah. Now I want to share some photo with you from my first couple weeks at Georgetown University in the academic year 2019 to 2020. I'm in the class of 2020. I'm graduating, right? Congratulations to me. Congratulations to all the clinical nurse leader cohort members in the class of 2020, all 25 of us, 24 of you plus me, 25 of us. Congratulations to you. This is our year. This is our season. This is our summer. Yeah, we got good news. Neela, one of our cohort members, she got a job in the neurological ICU. So I want to say congratulations, Neela, on your getting a new job. It's very hard to get a ICU job. It's an intensive care unit job as a nurse. So it's a great achievement for Neela, who's from Minnesota. It's a great achievement. She's so smart. I'm not surprised she got that, job. Because she's one of the smartest persons in our cohort. So yeah, so I'm not surprised at all that she's achieved this way. I'm sure she's gonna go so far in the nursing profession as a clinical nurse leader. She's gonna make waves, in the nursing world. That's what I believe. I mean, every one of my core members are so bright. They're going to become major leaders. And Georgetown's nursing program is amazing. So those of you who are currently, juniors going to become seniors in September, I would encourage you to apply to Georgetown Clinical Nurse Leader Program. My best friend in the program, Ying-Fu McMillan, she's Ying-Fu, but she married a guy whose last name is McMillan from San Diego, actually. And I think she's like the smartest person in her cohort. It's either her or Claire, I think. But she applied in her senior year when she was a student at University of California, San Diego, and she got accepted with scholarship. Yeah, so if you're going to become a senior, I say apply. You may even get a scholarship if you're very smart, like Ying. Yeah, so I would encourage all of you watching this show who's going into your senior year to apply. You could be a bio major, but you don't have to be. I was a history major, and there are people who are English majors, history majors. You do need to take like 5 or 6 prerequisites, and you can take them at community colleges if you want. So if you are a junior and you want to apply and you're like an English major, you may want to take these prerequisite classes during summer, like, from a community college online, your local community college. So these are prerequisite classes. You could easily take them like during the summer. And then you could apply. A deadline is like, I think like November 1, or it's like either in November or December. So you could, go to our website and, look at our program, Clinical Nurse Leader. It's a master's program at School of Nursing and Health Studies at Georgetown. And you can apply as a senior like Ying-Fu McMillan. Yeah, so I would encourage you to apply wherever you are around the country. If COVID-19 continues and it continues to be online, you can do it online. If it's possible that we meet as in person, you could just come to Georgetown, Washington, D.C. So I would say it's a great program for people in Virginia's 8th district, especially. Like if you are going to be a senior and you live in like Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, it's like a perfect program because you're already here. You could take it online, and if the campus opens up, you could just commute from home. You could just drive from home. That's what Claire does. Claire, she lives in Falls Church. You know, either she or Ying Fu, I think, are the smartest in our program. And yeah, so Claire Pauletta, she went to, I think, uh, the the Catholic school, uh, like that's like on Georgetown University campus, and then went to Fordham University, and she played like soccer for Fordham. It's amazing. Like we have some amazing people in our program, you know. So yeah, I mean, like everybody's amazing. I mean, yeah, and that's what you're gonna see. Like if you apply and you get into this program and you come, you're gonna see that everybody's amazing. And oh, Claire also applied in her senior year, so she like Ying came right after she graduated from college. And so, yeah, so you could be like Ying or Claire, wherever you're in college. If you live in Falls Church, Arlington, Alexandria, Fairfax County, you can apply, you could come. My mentor, who was in the court above me in court 2019, Jessica Nguyen, she's like Vietnamese American, and she lives in Fairfax County. So she just lived at home and commuted. And Claire does that too. Claire lives in Falls Church because that's where her mother and father is, and she commutes. So yeah, if you're a high school junior currently who's going to be a high school senior in September, and you live in Falls Church, Arlington, Alexandria, and Fairfax County, and you want to save lives, I would say seriously consider applying to Georgetown University's Clinical Nurse Leader program, because you graduate from bachelor's, you're going to get a master's. That's what's great about our program. You get a master's degree. So you're going to have a bachelor's and then you have master's from Georgetown, right? It's a famous university. I would say it's probably the best clinical nurse leader program in the country, especially because I'm graduating from that program and I'm going to make our program shine. It will be number one, undisputed number one clinical nurse program, clinical nurse leader program in the country. Yeah, because Heerak Christian Kim. And also, I mean, I'm not as smart as Claire and Ying in nursing, but, but I'm like a born leader who's like playing a lot of leadership role. So, along with them, will help Georgetown University grow to be like amazing. And I'm sure Ying will like probably become a amazing, professor, and Claire as well. They'll probably shake the nursing world in their lifetime, yeah. So, we have amazing people at Georgetown, and you could be part of our tradition. So, yeah, apply in the fall and come to our program. And you don't have to be a biology or science major. You could be an English major. Just make sure you take the prerequisites. And if you go on our website at Georgetown, you'll see what the prerequisites are. So I'm going to do some free advertisement for Georgetown University Clinical Nurse Leader Program. So it's a great program. I think it'll be good for you. Those of you who are college students in Virginia's 8th District. If you just graduated, you could also apply in the fall. You just have to take the prerequisite courses. There's like 5 of them. And you could do them online at, NOVA, Northern Virginia Community College. You could just take them online. You don't have to take them from any specific school. You just need to take them. One of the prerequisites, like nutrition, I took at a community college in Richmond area, John Tyler Community College, and I did it all online, 100% online, nutrition class. So that was a requirement. And yeah, it was cheap way to take a good class, and the course was very good, and professor was really nice. And so, yeah, I learned a lot. And, I sent the transcript, and so that's what you could do. You could take a community college class from NOVA. You could take a class anywhere, if you're going to be a senior, you could take a class that fulfills the requirement at your college in the senior year. Yeah, so just, just kind of look through what the prerequisites are. You could easily hit that this summer. So, yeah. So, but you do need to start because this is May. So a community college summer classes, I think summer term starts like next week. Generally it starts like after Memorial Day. So yeah, you don't want to miss out. So yeah, look at the requirements, and then, you know, you could easily register for these classes. So yeah, do that. Rank number 3 is San Diego. 230 deaths, right? That's where Ying and her husband Nathan are from. Oh, hi Ying, hi Nathan. They're so amazing. They're so great. Both of them are so nice. They're like such a cute couple. They're like perfect couple. If we had a vote on like who has the best couple in our program, I would vote for them. You know, they're like the best. they're so and they're like perfect couple. You know, they're like made for each other. You have to see them. You know, yeah, they're like perfect. He's like a brilliant genius in computer science, and she's like brilliant in nursing. It's like match made in heaven. You know, yeah, power. They're going to be like a power couple. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I wanted to share with you some photos from my first 2 weeks at Georgetown University. So on the left, under please donate now sign. And yeah, if you could donate to my campaign, you know, I'm running for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District, right? So yeah, feel free to donate, you know. you know, donation is always appreciated. But yeah, underneath the sign, you have Junru Shi. She's from mainland China. She is a first-year student, and she was involved with Georgetown Collaborative Diplomacy Initiative from the beginning. And so, you know, I got to know her, befriend her. You know, she's such a nice person. And her English name is Cedric, which is, you know, like Cedric the Entertainer. It's a cool name, you know. But I like the name. She's like, but I don't know. You know, she doesn't impress me as a Cedric. I like Junru, like sounds really nice. I don't know. She sounds more like, you know, like Joanna or Lynn, you know, like she looks more like a Joanna rather than like Cedric, you know, in my opinion. But yeah, anyway, I think she chose her own name. You know, I chose my own American name too, Christian, because um, I was naturalized when my parents were naturalized, and I received my citizenship when I was 18. So I chose my own middle name. My parents, you know, American names are like Abraham and Sarah, so they wanted to make me Isaac. And they wanted me to name my kid Jacob. I was like, I don't think so. you know? Uh, yeah, Isaac. I don't know. In Israel, they're like, Zachi, Mapitom, Zachi. You know, like, I don't know. It's like, I'm not a Zachi, you know? So that's why I didn't want an Isaac. It just sounds like I don't look like an Isaac. You know, I think I'm more like Christian, you know? Yeah, so I chose my own name, middle name. Yeah, I like it. You know, Heerak, Christian, Kim. Yeah, that's like me. Heerak, Isaac, Kim. I don't know. Yeah, but that's not me. You see, so yeah, so I think I chose my right middle name, and you know, more power to you, Junior. You know, Cedric. And if you like it, you know, great. You know, more power to you. As long as you're happy, right? That's what's important. Um, Next to that, you know, I'm taking a photo with a friend of mine from writing club at Georgetown. So she was freshman in when I joined the writing club in 2018, my first year. So she was first year when I was first year, and then she's second year when I'm second year. But she's an undergraduate, so she has 2 more years to go. And so both of us were in writing club. I think she's from Alexandria. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, we have Chick-fil-A, and so there was like a I don't know, you know, Chick-fil-A doll. You know, they say, you know how they tease the cow. So that was a cow. So we took a photo with that. And the photo next to that is I took a photo with of a Mick who's like a Indian American from Atlanta, Georgia area. Uh, I think he went to Emory, and he's like a pre-med. He did like masters in physiology at Georgetown, and we took a photo with a Hindu priest at Georgetown. So, you know, he kind of takes care of the Hindu students at Georgetown. He's like their spiritual leader. So I took a photo with them. And the photo next to that is the orientation day for Georgetown University graduate students. As you know, I'm the vice president of Georgetown Student Government, GradGov. for academic year 2019 to 2020. So I work with other executive board members to provide orientation. So those are all first-year students at Georgetown, graduate students, and we gave them orientation at the International Culture Center, ICC, at Georgetown University, which is where the School of Foreign Service is. And so that was in one of the classrooms, large classrooms that filled like a lot of students. Yeah, they enjoy the orientation. Next to that is the photo of me giving a tour to first year students. So all the executive board members, I'm the vice president, but other executive board members as well, they took like a group of graduate students and gave a tour. I gave them like a 1 hour tour. I had the best tour. I bet everybody in my tour, you know, when they shared with other students who had tour, found out I gave the best tour, you know? Yeah, but yeah, so we took a group photo after that. Unfortunately, like I'm like kind of hidden. You know, you see me raising my hand like that. That's me. You know, I guess I should have like stood in the center, but I wanted everyone who was there to like kind of be in the photo. But yeah, but I gave them a 1 hour tour and they loved it. Yeah, Vivek was in my tour. That's like we took a photo with a Hindu priest after my tour. We ended up in Levy Center, which is the student center at Georgetown University. And Chick-fil-A is in Levy Center there. And actually, Junru Shi and I were eating Chick-fil-A right there. That's like the eating area in Chick-fil-A. Right now, it's empty because of COVID-19. So sad, you know. Everybody's like gone, and they're, you know, they are, you know, isolated in their towns, you know, and yeah, like Sheila was saying that she's in Georgia. I'm like, when did you go to Georgia? Sheila is a Indian from Atlanta, Georgia area. She's amazingly smart. She's in our clinical nurse leader program, and she also applied as a no. Actually, she did a master's program before. She did a bachelor's and master's, and she came to us. But she's fun. She's a great dancer. Because you know, like our cohort members, we went dancing together our first year, like in the Halloween party. So I think it was at the Halloween party. Like after Halloween party, we went dancing together, and I think that's when I saw her dancing. She's like a really good dancer. But anyway, yeah, and so yeah, she's in Atlanta, Georgia, with her family now. I'm like, I guess like you know we have these Zoom classes. You know, you can take it anywhere. So people are like just kind of you know, going back home to their family. And like we're graduate students, right? Master's students. So you would imagine like all the undergraduates are like basically gone back home. And so, yeah, it's like everybody's back in their home. And I guess most of the nursing students who are graduating from Georgetown this year, they're probably going to work near home. Well, that's an interesting phenomenon because I think generally when we don't have COVID, most of the people who go to nursing school, like at Georgetown, work in Washington, D.C. But because COVID started like earlier this year, Georgetown was closed in March. They're probably all back home now. They took courses back home. So they'll probably end up going to hospitals and working in hospitals near their homes. Wow. So, wow, I wonder what's going to happen to DC. If this is the same thing that's happening with like George Washington Nursing School, you know, yeah, they may have like a nurse shortage in Washington, D.C. this summer. Because like they're counting on like people who are in the city, universities in the city to apply. And not only that, now because COVID-19 is like everywhere, unlike during peaceful times, you're not gonna have new nurses applying for jobs in DC. They'll probably like stay in your home, wherever their home state is. So there must be a serious, severe shortage of nurses in Washington, D.C. area hospitals in the sense that no one's probably applying for Washington, D.C. area hospitals. Can you imagine that? So, I mean, the repercussions of that for Washington, D.C. area is probably phenomenal, right? Whereas in times of peaks, you have like thousands applying to come to Washington, D.C. area to work as nurses. Now you don't have that. And it's not like a city that's producing a lot of nurses. So there's going to be a serious shortage of nurses in Washington, D.C., which is not going to be good because COVID-19 is going to continue for 2 years or more without a vaccine. So people are going to die left and right. And all these nurses who are working there now are going to be fatigued. They will need like new wave of nurses, which is not going to, that's not going to come. So which means death rate will spike because of this new social reality, or what I call human resources problem in hospitals in this area, which will not have nurses fitting in to this area. It's, yeah, you kind of predict the tragedy that's coming probably in year 2021 because of this reality. Yeah, because like, yeah, that's going to be a problem for DC. Yeah, that's sad though, you know? Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Oh, the photo on the top, I'm with Kin Mei. She's from Hong Kong. And I heard China's passing a law basically making Hong Kong into an irrelevant city. As I said, you know, COVID-19 is a advanced biological weapon created by China to destroy United States and United Kingdom economically. They want the economic center to be in mainland China, Shanghai. So in order to make that happen, they have to pass laws to destroy Hong Kong as an economic important city, right? I mean, there is a grand plan that China has, and COVID-19 is part of that. Then they cannot let Hong Kong be very important as an economic city. So they'll have to destroy the economic power of Hong Kong. And the new law, I think that China is passing or has passed today, effectively decapitates Hong Kong as an economic center. So the billionaires and millionaires in Hong Kong will probably become poor. I mean, that's probably what's going to happen. The wealth in Hong Kong will shift to Shanghai. People are not going to shift. Wealth is going to shift. So people who are now in mainland China, in Shanghai, part of the Chinese Red Army, they're the ones who's going to rise to wealth. They're going to take the wealth from Hong Kong. So people who are wealthy in Hong Kong will now become poor. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think mainland China will trust any people in Hong Kong just because of the history. So they're not going to really, they'll probably deputize some to use them for their own purposes, but they probably don't trust Hong Kong people enough to give them wealth and power. So my prediction is they're going to destroy Hong Kong, not only economically, but politically, socially, intellectually, in every way, in order to strengthen mainland China and the Chinese Red Army. So Hong Kong is kind of like a bastion of democracy, and you know, China wants to crush it out. So, you know, I feel bad for Kim because she's from Hong Kong. So that affects her family and all her relatives in Hong Kong. So I kind of feel bad for her. But yeah, so yeah, she's amazing too. She's doing her master's in Asian American Studies at School of Foreign Service, and she's an executive board member of Georgetown Collaborative Diplomacy Initiative. And she'll continue to play a major leadership role in Georgetown Collaborative Diplomacy Initiative, and I'm sure she'll do amazing things. But I don't know if she has a future in Hong Kong. You know, she may have to stay in America because Hong Kong is becoming minimized. So people who are from Hong Kong, they're looking at a new reality in Hong Kong. It's kind of like without the COVID-19, its economy is going to be destroyed. China's going to pay attention to do that. It looks that way. You know, China has a grand design, I tell you, you know, and you can see that. Oh, and so I wanted to share with you exciting event. We have a pinning ceremony at Georgetown University for BSN, stands for Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. So that's a 4-year bachelor's program, and we call it like traditional nursing degree. So you graduate from high school, you come to Georgetown for 4 years in the Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, and then you become a nurse. And then you practice as an RN nurse. And so we have 26 people graduating in the traditional BSN program. And obviously, if you're a high school junior, in your senior year, you could apply to Georgetown University's Bachelor's of Science in Nursing program. As an early action candidate, you need to submit your application, I believe, by December 1st, or actually not December 1st, November 1st. So to be safe, you should probably submit all the applications by September. So if you're a college junior becoming a senior, you should apply or get all your materials together in the summer to apply for the traditional BSN program as an early action applicant. It's better to apply early action if you really want to go to Georgetown for nursing school, because there's limited spots and it's easier to get in early action. So if you definitely know you want to go to Georgetown for nursing, I recommend you apply early action. That way you have your acceptance letter by December 15th, and then you can just relax after that, because you're accepted. And I would encourage all of you who are smart in science, in high schools in Falls Church, Alexandria, Fairfax County, and Arlington to apply early action to Georgetown's nursing school. I mean, not all of you are going to get in, but if you're one of the lucky ones who get in, I say come, be part of the great tradition. I mean, there are other nursing schools in the area, not as good as Georgetown, obviously, but yeah, I would say, why not? Aim for the sky, try it, and see if you get in. And CNL stands for Clinical Nurse Leader, and that's what I will be when I graduate in August. And all our core members, congratulations to Clinical Nurse Leader Core 2020, my classmates, and also BSN students who are graduating. So Clinical Nurse Leader is a master's program. So it's a master's in science program at Georgetown School of Nursing and Health Studies. So you do need a bachelor's program to apply to our program, which is Master of Science program in Clinical Nurse Leader. So all of us who are applying, who have applied to this program did not have a RN license. RN license is a registered nurse license. And that's what allows you to practice as nurses in hospitals. RN license, registered nurse license. And I had a show with different nursing schools several weeks back. You should watch that show to understand what different schools are, what different programs are. You can become an RN nurse with an associate degree from a 2-year community college. You can also become an RN nurse with a 2-year program from a hospital in Richmond area in Chesterfield County. There's a hospital that offers this program. You go to that hospital, in 2 years you have an associate's degree and you have an RN. And so that's possible. And there are second bachelor's program, second BSN program. They call it accelerated BSN program. And George Mason University has this program. They also have a traditional 4-year program. And those are for bachelor's graduates who want to become nurses. You could do a second bachelor's in nursing. Obviously, having 2 bachelors is not as good as having a bachelor's and a master's. And so you have these programs in the United States called Clinical Nurse Leader programs, many of which are master's programs, a 2-year master's program. They're very, very intense. That allows people who do not have an RN license to become RN nurses. But because it's a master's program, it's a higher than bachelor's degree, you have more opportunities. And also you get a certificate called Clinical Nurse Leader, which is a national certificate to make you a clinical nurse leader. Now that's an important position in the field of nursing. And so it brings together diverse skills that you may have in your bachelor's program. And so you do need a bachelor's program to apply for Clinical Nurse Leader program at Georgetown, but those who have RN license cannot apply, whether it's from associate's degree or bachelor's of science and nursing degree, or second bachelor's in nursing degree. If you have a RN license, you cannot apply to our program because our program is only for those who do not have an RN license. But you do need a bachelor's degree from a university to start our program. So you could apply while you're a senior, but to start in our program, you need to have a bachelor's degree awarded, before you enter our program. And so for those of you who are bachelor's in, English major, history major, sociology major, psychology major, this may be the best program for you, right? And also people who are biology majors who want to become nurses, this is probably the best program. You have a bachelor's degree, you're going to have a master's degree after graduating from Georgetown. You get best of both worlds. Instead of just having a second bachelor's, right? You get a master's. So I would encourage you to apply to our program. But because we do not have our own RN licenses yet, we get pinned. So in America, we have this tradition of pinning people who become nurses, RN nurses. So whether you have an associate degree of nursing from a community college, you're going to have a pinning ceremony there. If you get a RN license through a hospital, you have a pinning ceremony there. Or you get a second bachelor's in nursing degree at George Mason University, you have a pinning ceremony there. So pinning ceremony is to celebrate you becoming like an RN nurse or finishing the program, nursing program to become an RN nurse. So Bachelor's of Science in Nursing students are going to be pinned because they finished their Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, and they're going to take their nursing board exams. It's called NCLEX RN exam. It's like several hours long, and you take it, you pass it, you become an RN licensed nurse. So it's a licensure exam. So BSN students will be taking that probably sometime in May or June. And those of us who are graduating with a Master's of Science program at Georgetown Nursing School in the Clinical Nurse Leader program, we will be graduating in August, finishing our practicum in August, and we'll take the board exam, which is the same exam, NCLEX RN, and when we pass that, we become RN nurses. Same with associate's degree of nursing. If you go to 2-year community college, if you finish it, you get pinned, and you could take NCLEX RN exam, which is the licensure exam. The same exam that I'll be taking, and all my clinical nurse leader cohort will be taking, all the BSN students from Georgetown will be taking, all the community college ADN, associate degree in nursing students, will be taking that exam as well. And those people who go to 2-year hospital RN programs will be taking that exam. So it's a board of nursing exam. And if you go to, let's say, nursing school in Colombia or Venezuela or India or Korea or China or England, you can also come to the United States and take that exam, the board exam, NCLEX RN, and then you become an RN nurse in America. You practice as an RN nurse. I met people who did that, like they did their nursing school in Philippines, came here, or India, came here, took the board exam, and they start practicing as nurses. They make the same money as Georgetown graduate nurses or community college graduate nurses. In the first year, everybody makes the same money. It's called RN1 level. And then, once you start advancing, you see the difference based on your degrees, master's degree, bachelor's degree, you see the difference after several years. But first year out of nursing school, everybody gets paid the same. It's called stage 1 RN1 pay. Whether you did it in a hospital, community college, 2-year associate's degree, whether you have a bachelor's or master's, if you start as an RN nurse, then you are paid the same the first year. So for BSN and CNL students, we have our pinning ceremony this week, Friday at 2 p.m. So yeah, so there's an invite there. So I wanted to let you know. Yeah, so sharing my joy, sharing our joy. Yeah, and the photo over there, you see me with Kin May is there, and then Martha Sidoriak, She is the General Secretary of Georgetown Collaborative Diplomacy Initiative. Kim May is the External Affairs Director. So she deals with other clubs at Georgetown. And Junru Shi used to be our treasurer, so you see there. And then, so initially she was our treasurer. And so this was during like first 2 weeks of school. So, that's actually the executive board meeting. Some of the executive board members are missing, but yeah, so that was our first dinner together at a Chinese restaurant at Georgetown University area. It's a few blocks from the main gate. And the food is great, and you just love the Happy Buddha there. And I'm having dinner at a Mexican restaurant over there with she used to be our executive board member as well from mainland China. She's very talented, from a court school, and she's very, very talented. And so underneath that, you see Junru, she and me at Starbucks at Georgetown. They just renovated it. Unfortunately, now campus is closed. So they spent all that money renovating, and now like nobody's going to that. Maybe the owner's bankrupt now. Yeah, but they may be open because hospital is still open and they need coffee. So maybe it's still open. I haven't been on campus because the campus is close to us, but the hospital is open. So maybe, Starbucks is still open. I don't know. Yeah. And then next to that, you see Yankee Ding, who's she's also from mainland China, like Junru Shi. And she's learning this game, that's very Virginian. So she's having fun, and I had lunch with her that day, so I saw this game set up at Georgetown, so we played a set. We had fun. Underneath that, you see me holding a graduation sign next to my Christmas tree. Yeah, it's Christmas all year round at Heerak's home. And then next to that, you see international orientation. As vice president of Georgetown Graduate Student Government, I was invited to, give some introductory words to all the international students at Georgetown University. So during the international student orientation day, I served as a panelist to answer questions along with others who, those are actually like leaders in the international student kind of orientation. They organized the event and they invited me because I'm the vice president of Georgetown Graduate Student Government, or called GradGov. So yeah, my first 2 weeks in academic year 2019 to 2020, not all the photos are there, but some of the photos are there. I'm so glad that you're able to share in my experience and my joy. I'm happy that you're like part of my family now. Watch this show, me, and you probably see me like your family member as well. Now, don't forget to vote for me though on November 3rd, 2020. It's a general election for Virginia, and I'm running for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District as an independent candidate against the current U.S. Representative Don Beyer. Unfortunately, Don Beyer, I guess, along with Virginia Governor Northam, is trying to block me out of the ballot box. And, I talked about that yesterday. I do need to have you write to Governor Northam and Don Beyer to encourage them to let me on the ballot for Virginia. I'm an official candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District, registered with Federal Election Commission, FEC. And I'm also registered with United States House of Representatives, Office of the Clerk, as an official candidate. So on these federal level, national level bodies, but each of the 50 states have their own board of elections, state board of elections. So Maryland has its Maryland Board of Elections. Washington, D.C. has Washington, D.C. Board of Elections. Virginia has Virginia Board of Elections. And so each state has its own state law. And under Virginia state law, I need to collect 1,000 signatures to be on the Virginia state ballot. And I have to submit that by June 9th. I mean, it's still like some time off, but the problem is Virginia Governor Northam issued a stay-at-home order on March 30th, and he said it will last until June 10th. I'm supposed to submit the 1,000 signatures by June 9th. I became an independent in March. So Governor Northam and Don Bayer, they've been following me since I started my campaign in November. And as soon as I became independent, they knew that I had to collect 1,000 signatures. So they're playing dirty politics by issuing this staying-at-home order, which will not allow me to collect any signatures. It's illegal for me to go door to door and knock and get signatures, me and my volunteers. And so, I need you to contact Governor Northam via email, letter, phone call, and Don Bayer, via email, telephone call, text messages. Let them know that they need to let me on the ballot. Virginia Board of Elections, that they don't have the authority to waive the requirement for 1,000 signatures, but obviously Virginia Governor Northam, as the governor of Virginia, he has the authority. So you need to contact him and get me on the ballot. I'm trying to save you and your children. So get me on the ballot. I know Don Bayer is trying to play dirty, but are you going to let him play dirty like this? Don Bayer and Governor Northam, let's be fair. If Don Bayer wants to beat me at the ballot box, not like playing dirty tricks like this, right? Through the Old Boys Network. So so contact Ralph Northam, Virginia's governor, and demand that Heerak Christian be placed on the ballot for Virginia's 8th district. Waive the 1,000 signature requirement because there's a stay-at-home order in place. So I need you to do your magic and be heroes of Virginia to ensure fair elections in Virginia, right? This is a matter of fairness and justice. So I hope that you will do your part to be the hero of Virginia and fair elections in Virginia, and encourage, Virginia Governor Northam to waive that 1,000 signature, which is impossible because of his own executive order, stay-at-home executive order as the governor of Virginia, right? It's only fair that he waives it, right? Because he's the one who made it impossible for me to collect the signatures because of the stay-at-home order. So I hope that you will contact him and let him know that. Well, thanks for tuning in today. It's good to see you, and I hope that you will tune in again tomorrow and watch this show, because I give you truth. I give you information that will help you and your children survive COVID-19. And also I share with you my life and things that matter in our lives, right? So I hope that you will tune in tomorrow and be entertained, but also learn what you need to learn to survive COVID-19. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Be well. Hope that your family will be well too. See you tomorrow. Bye.